that's not sounding great, that, isn't it?
Yeah, she died on me.
Oh.
Right. Okay, so Chris has had a bit of an issue with the Audi. As you know, Chris has been daily driving the Audi while we're doing the Cummins conversion on the Landy, which is going on here. So, what's happened is it died on him basically, and he's motored it over and it just sounded like cam belt slipping, so we feared the worst. And he popped the bonnet. Luckily, it's only the pump belt that was slipping. Chris is now taking my Land Rover to go and get parts. What's happened basically is the pump is shagged. As you can see, it's just freewheeling that way and it just seizes that way. I'll pretty much tell you now, the plunger snapped from experience. It's got a 12mm head in it, and 12mm heads just absolutely hate revving. And this thing revs its balls off and it's snapped. So obviously the pump's seized because it won't turn clockwise, it just locks, causing the cam belt to slip and obviously the engine to die. Now luckily it's only that, which means the rest of the engine's fine, which is great. Problem we've got is Chris needs this vehicle, well, needs it every day, because obviously this is how he's getting here and back and everywhere else while the Lander is off the road. And being 6-cylinder, I don't have very many bits lying around because I don't have 6-cylinder heads. I've got thousands and thousands of 4-cylinder heads, but no 6-cylinder. I have managed to find one 6-cylinder head, but the issue is it's a 10mm head. And I wouldn't generally recommend anything less than 11mm for anything DI, let alone trying to make power. But hopefully with enough enough duration, it'll build enough pressure to crack the injectors. It'll run, it'll make bugger all power, but it'll run and it'll keep moving. So I'm now going to tear this apart. Chris has gone to get a new cam belt because it's like ripped the crap out of the cam belt where it's been slipping. And then we'll tear it all apart and put it all back together again, so a bit of a farce basically. Right, okay, just taking the pump off now, so I'm going to start stripping that down. Right, let's get this bloody thing apart. Right, so as we suspected, plunger snapped in two. Sadly, it's taken out the drive lugs off the cam plate and just destroyed the inside of the pump. Now, we need this back on the road today. Now, it's bad enough dropping from a 12mm to a 10 on DI as it is, but now we're just taking out the cam plate. That's actually the biggest blow, because the only 6-cylinder cam plate I have, I must have got probably 100 4-cylinder cam plates here, is this one. Now, if I put the other one in my hand as a comparison, you will see the potential problem here, because we're going to be going basically from that much lift on a 12mm head to that much lift on a 10mm head. And this is not a DI cam plate, this is an indirect cam plate, so it has a very crappy load ramp and deload. So I don't even know if it's going to run actually on that, but we're going to have to try it because it's the only bits we've got, so we're just going to bolt it together and see if we can get it running for now. Right, the pump is going back in. Sadly we've had to compromise a lot with the bits in the pump because we just don't have the bits we need, but we need this car running today. So we've got a 10mm head on an IDI cam plate in a DI engine. It's going to, if it runs at all, it's going to make very little power, but hopefully it will just run enough to go forward and back until the Cummins is in the Land Rover, and then we can worry about it another day. So the pump's back in the car now, just going to hook things up and see if we can get some fuel.
I'm just going to be happy if I haven't got to walk. I don't care on the power. I'd drive the ped home if she was running.
I wish that
That's how desperate I would.
well. I was out checking cheap, and I'll tell you what, I missed that quad, and then I thought, ped, nope, she won't start either.
Yeah. We might have to get some vehicles running again.
Yeah, that ped one.
Right, okay, we're getting closer. We're incredibly pissed off.
Yeah.
Why the Lux isn't just roadworthy, it would have just been put this up Orchards in a scrapyard and take the Lux home. But
the pump is in, and the problem we got basically is when we did this originally, there were lots of special marks on the belt and the pulleys which all corresponded with what needs to line up with what. Now the trouble is we've had it apart so many times, there's so many marks, I cannot for the life of me remember
where each one
which
went.
mark is relevant or recent or for what. So basically we're back to square one timing this thing up. And
so we've just swung it.
And the issue, and the other problem is we don't even know if it's going to run on this pump because of the tiny plunger and really crappy cam plate. So we don't know if we're fighting a timing problem or just lack of fuel. We've got fuel popping off, it is popping the injectors, so we're hoping it will run.
So where we are at the minute is we have swung it. We thought we was 180 degrees out, so we've rotated the pump 180 degrees. We've got a bit more smoke. We advanced it, we got a bit more smoke, so now we've just slipped it a tooth to advance it somewhat more. And
Well,
we're going to see how much.
We didn't want to lose the setting. There's a non-keyway shaft, so we didn't want to lose that, so we couldn't really find out where the keyway was. And obviously, I had the cam plate out, and you need to know where the keyway is for the cam plate. So we thought, well, we'll put it as it is, and if it's wrong, we can just flip it 180. Well, typically there's 37 teeth on the pulley, so you can't really flip it 180. You can only flip it sort of just before or just after. So we flipped it just before, and there was a bit of smoke. So now we've basically slipped it an extra tooth, so it's one after. So now we're going to see what happens, and we've still got the vernier to adjust here.
Oh,
That must be Ethan, isn't it?
well, believe it or not, she is running. Do you turn the lights off? She was running because she's moved here. In front of the landy now.
I'll fire up.
There we go! Unfortunately, she has, we reckon, 10,
If that.
20 horsepower, realistically. Not enough to move it. Oh, what the fuck's going on with this thing now? Not enough, it's too dark to focus. Not enough horsepower to get up the lane, let alone pull Massive Hill. So,
She's not going to make it.
better get my head torch on and the bike out, I suppose.